Welcome to today's chatting session. We'll be going through over the last trade which I took yesterday, which was during the PM session. Let's open the chart. First of all, let me remove the drawings first. First of all, I went on a higher time frame to see where price was at. During this time, this was my draw of liquidity. That was my draw of liquidity, and I was waiting for price to fill out this previous day imbalance. Let's open on a lower time frame, wait for manipulation lower before heading upwards. During the London session, price came in and took out this Asian low and filled out the previous day power imbalance. After London, during London session, there was this 1 hour imbalance that was formed, which can also be seen from a 2-hour perspective. Yes, this was the 2-hour imbalance that got filled during the start of New York session. Zoomed in on a lower time frame. As you can see, during the start of New York session during 8:30, price first came out, took this internal buy side, and then came down and took out this sell side, while also holding this 2-hour imbalance. Zoomed in on a lower time frame. First of all, I never got the entry which I was hoping for, because after manipulation lower, there was this would have been the market structure shift, and this would have been the best entry during that time, but I never took this entry at that time. Price came up, continued buying up to the upside, and from this high during the AM session, came back during the PM session. These were the zones which had been made. Also, this previous day high had been displaced through. I was waiting for, after the previous day high had been swept, had been displaced through, I was waiting for retracement back into at least a 1 hour or a 15-minute imbalance, which happened, which was here. But at the 15-minute, it was better to look at it. This was the imbalance. That minute, yes, this was the imbalance that I was hoping that will get filled. After the imbalance got filled, and there was internal manipulation, this was the best entry to take during the PM session. Internal manipulation, filling a higher time frame imbalance, taking out liquidity, and also displacement higher. There are several models which are aligning. This was a very good turtle soup entry. After this sell side was taken before FOMC was at 2. Yes, this manipulation move happened at around 150 PM, which was after lunch. Waited for displacement higher after the soup. This was the first bearish imbalance that got disrespected. After this happened, closed above this imbalance, waited for displacement through this high. Although this was not displacement, took an entry at this fair value gap. This was my first and only entry of the day. I took a long position around here and I put my stop around here, yes, and I was targeting this high. Yes, this high was which I was targeting. Price came in, swept this internal high and then began accumulating to the downside, but bullish order flow was not being disrespected. So I was still looking for a move higher because price was still holding bullish order flow and also bearish order flows being held, but it had been disrespected by this candle, this 212 candle. There was also a 3-minute being held. Price came in, chopped around. I was in drawdown. I got out around this level. Yes, I got out around this level. It was a small loss, like a $20 loss, before price pumped straight to buy side. I did after price took out my buy side level. I didn't want to take another trade since the objective of the trade had been reached. Manipulation lower, an accumulation zone, manipulation lower, filling a higher time frame imbalance, taking out this internal sell side, and then displacement higher, taking out buy side. That model was already complete. Did not want to take another trade. Ended this trade on a $20 loss. This would have been a good trade if I was more patient. I should have waited for the setup to play out. This would have been a calm 1:2.5 risk to reward ratio. I should focus more on being patient at the setups, which I find, because sometimes I do not hold my positions for very long and they end up playing out how I expected. Especially this, when I saw there was no displacement through this internal low, this internal sell side, that should have been my indicator that price will pump straight to buy side. After this candle started going higher and took out this internal high, I was to get in back into the entry. I'll have waited for a fair value gap to get filled. Maybe this or this one, which is below. If it would have gotten filled, I would have gotten back into the trade, but that never happened. Yes, price came higher. If it came back down, having another internal model, I would have gotten into another trade, but that never happened. That is all for today. Let's meet at the next trading session.